welcome to the Medical Ancillary Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Berg, joined as always by technology wizard Vivian Hudson. And I call you that, Viv, because I do turn to you on more than one occasion. Pretty frequently, I'd say I do turn to you and say, Viv, edit this for me. Viv, do that for me. But today we do have a fun topic because we're going to talk about technology trends and resources that you as independent contractors, as medical sales reps, can use to make your lives easier and to make you more efficient in the field.
Yes, and I think that's going to be a great topic because who doesn't go anywhere without a smartphone in their back pocket? So you can certainly use that as a great resource when you're out in the field too.
That's true. And speaking of that, Viv, I want to kick off and talk about how to find doctors because we do get new people that listen to this sometimes. And the first question to me is, well, how do I find the doctors in my area? And for me, this isn't going to blow anybody away with how unsophisticated this is, but I honestly just use Google Maps. I'll zoom in on an area on Google Maps and I'll type in primary care physician, internal medicine physician, pain management, whatever I'm looking for, and I look who pops up on that map. And then when the pin pops up, when you click the pin, it will also show their further details, their name, address, and website address. And from that website address, that's how I can find out if they're an independent practice or not. If it says sharp.com or something like that, I know it's part of Sharp Health System. But if it just says, Dr. Johnson's Lake Street Family Medicine, then we know that's probably an independent guy. How about you, Viv? How do you locate doctors?
Well, one of the apps that I use, there are a couple, but the one I like is Health Grades. And the reason that I like that one is I can actually fine tune and look for a certain type of practice, whether it's a primary care or a OBGYN. But it gives you a little bit of information about the doctor. It gives you some information on their ratings, how well they're rated, and perhaps a little bit of background information, even on just a little snapshot as to giving you a little bit of intel. So when you walk into the practice, you've got a little bit of a sense of who they are. So there might be some reviews from patients or something like that on there that you can look at as well. But I like it. It's nice and clean and quite easy to find. So you can be in a certain area and then half a dozen doctors might pop up in there. So yeah.
Well, Viv, the other tool that I use quite frequently, once I have my area mapped out, I'll use multiple address map plotters. There's a couple of them available online. I will put some links to these in the show notes. So if you guys are ever wondering where to find these, just look in the show notes or I'll put in the YouTube description. But what multiple address map plotters do is it just shows you a scatter map of all the accounts that you're planning on hitting. And for me, I'm more visual. I like to look at it, because then I could see, okay, I'm going to start in the northwest part of town and work my way to the southeast part of town. And I know I've mentioned this on previous podcasts, but this has honestly saved me a lot of time and a lot of gas and made me more efficient in the field, because I'll even do things like look who is on a common street, El Camino Real. There's tons of El Camino Reals out here. So when I'm on El Camino Real, there might be 20 doctors listed on El Camino Real. So I'll look at the addresses and see, are they odd or even, and I'll work the odd addresses in ascending order and then the even addresses in descending order. So I end up only making right turns on El Camino Real.
Yeah, and I really like how efficient you are. I can see that you're very much like my brother. If there's the quickest and most efficient way you can do something, that you'll do it. But a tool that you might find helpful is what happens when you get stuck in traffic.
Well, I live in California. That would never happen here.
So one of the great tools, and I wish I'd used it the other day, when I was going up to New Jersey when we went to the beach, we used Google Maps to get us there, and it came up with this pop up and it said save 10 minutes by taking this detour. Well, I think it added on about an extra 2 hours. So what I wish I'd used was Waze. So Waze is probably the best traffic app that you can get out there. So it'll let you know if there's some bad traffic coming up and then deviate you if you are happy to be deviated. But I would definitely vouch for Waze as a good one. So yeah.
Well, Viv, I'm part Norwegian, and you know how efficient the Norwegians are. So this whole podcast is just like it's scratching me right where I itch. You're talking about becoming ultra efficient, and the cheapskate in me also uses my other favorite app, which is Gas Buddy, because you're on the road, you're putting mileage on your car, and I don't know how it is where you are, but geez, you could have gas stations across the street from one another here, and they could be 50 cents difference in price sometimes. Gas Buddy shows you all the gas stations around you and what the cheapest price is, and I always pull into the cheapest pump. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Uh, so then you need to really, because everybody is pretty much an independent contractor out there, you've got to track your miles. So one of the things that I've used before is MileIQ, which is an app that you can just download and it's free, and it will enable you to be able to basically help track your miles, and you can say what the reason for that visit was, etc., as you go along, because obviously sometimes we have some personal business mixed in with business, so it's a nice way to be able to streamline it and do it without thinking, because who likes keeping a logbook these days and writing it all down manually? I've done that before, and there's always that trip that you miss, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and as independent contractors, you really have to be responsible for yourselves. It means, like you said, tracking miles, but really tracking all your expenses and everything else. So it is important to use some good accounting software as well. And one of the things that I do, Viv, because I'm not good at keeping receipts, I'll lose them. I just got in the habit of taking a picture of them. Anything that I have, I take a picture of the receipt and I toss it. And then every once in a while, I'll go through my phone and email myself in one big email myself all my receipts so I have them filed away somewhere. But then I'll import those into my accounting software, and what I use is ZipBooks. So just tracking all the little expenses that you come across while you're out there on the road, any traveling that you do, of course, is a business write-off, and including the mileage.
Right. Yeah. And that's pretty important, is to keep a track of all that and have a pretty efficient way of doing it. So I know a lot of people that are out on the road doing sales. One of the reasons that they choose that job is they're not great at data entry, right?
Right.
Which is why they go out and sell. So anything that we can find that makes that job easier is a benefit, which I guess brings me to, how do you keep track of yourself when you're out
Well,
on the road making all these sales calls?
well, number one, all these other technology tools that we've spoken about, you could flush these all down the toilet compared to the number one, which is a CRM system. If you're not using CRM, you are completely wasting your time. I'm always astounded when I talk to sales reps who are struggling. Sometimes I do talk to sales reps I've been out there a few months. I'm not doing so well yet. They're looking for some direction. And one of the things I always ask them is, how are you storing your leads? And if I hear they're using an Excel spreadsheet or they're writing it down on pieces of paper that they have on their desk, I really cringe, because there's no way you're operating at maximum efficiency. And that's what this podcast is about today, I guess. Efficiency. So having a good CRM system, because if you're making a high volume of sales calls, which you should be, you really don't want to stop during the day, and you're going to forget during the day who you spoke with. I know you think when you walk into an office, oh, I'm going to remember this interaction, but sometimes you need something to jog your memory. So just being a really good note taker and using a good CRM system can help you with that. So for myself, I use a couple different CRMs. There are some good free ones out there. The best free ones that I've used are Zoho and HubSpot. We use HubSpot quite a bit, and they're pretty similar. Zoho does have a free edition, and what I like about it is it's customizable, but it's pretty out of the box, ready to use. You have more sophisticated systems like Salesforce that offer a lot more bells and whistles, but they're also a lot more complicated to get those set up. And Zoho has everything that I feel like I need, which is just basically all the contact information, last time I talked to them, what have I spoke with them about, and what am I going to talk to them about the next time I'm there. How about you, Viv?
Well, I really like Pipedrive. I like it because it gives you a really nice visual of where your sales are at. And you can also set up different pipelines in there. So if you want to go by practice type or You could even set it up by days of the week. It just depends on how you best operate. And you can put all the key information in there. It's very mobile friendly, which I'll have to say HubSpot is not a mobile friendly app that I've found. Either that or I just can't get it to download or work. But
you can
it's
insult
great
my
on the
kids.
PC. It's great on the PC, but it's useless on mobile. But yeah, so I really like Pipedrive for that reason. So you can drag and drop your deals as they move along the pipeline and see kind of where you're progressing, and then you can pull different reports out of there as well, depending on how much time and how excited by numbers you get. But certainly Pipedrive would probably have to be my favorite.
Well, I will include links to all of these programs that we spoke about in the show notes. Thanks, Viv.
Thanks, Mike.
You can jump into the fire.